everybody. Let me get the gallery view. Sorry. Let's see. You can see all who's here. And again, I just appreciate all you people who've been coming back every time. Because I think we've had a steady group, which is great. Okay, well, let's just start with remembering our motivation. That wishing all beings to be free of samsara and all the different ways it affects everybody's got their own karma, and we know so many people and how they're affected and what's going on in the world, and just really taking a moment to just generate a positive attitude about. I notice Wendy has a really good positive attitude, and I remember Jackie Keeley, who's Lamia, she's attending. Some of you know Jackie. And I went to visit her, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 years ago now. And I hadn't seen her in ages, like, 25 years or something. She'd been working in the university and working with children and her own kind of version of universal education. She came up with the 4 Ps. I really like it. It's, what is it? Positively powerful and powerfully positive. And I noticed that, Wendy's a bit the same, like Jackie, like whatever happens, they just make it powerfully positive or positively powerful. And we just can take a moment and find a way to transform things and become positively powerful. And the fact that she was instilling that in teenagers made me really happy. So let's just think about our teenager self and tell that little person in there that they can be positively powerful. I don't know what made me think of that, but and turn that into a way to, however best we can, benefit the world and benefit sentient beings on our path to enlightenment, and work with the karmic, as karma permits. Lama Zopa told me one time, he said, just as karma permits, we do what we can. So, I have my clock, I have my microphone, but I didn't turn on the light. It's going to get dark in here, so excuse me, I have to go turn on the overhead light. Didn't notice we had actually some sunshine today here. So, so we have a few questions, and Wendy's so good at fielding all these things, and she, so I had left out the Idam Guru Ratnam Mandalakam Niyachami after the mandala. And there's a question when we say, Tunfo and stranger. How's it go? Coveted. Coveted stands alone, and I think it means to do with any kind of covetous mind that we have, that we're offering up our covetous mind. Yeah, and just again, that is a version that Rob Priest put together a long time ago when he made an English chantable Lama Chupa. And I just always liked it because, I don't know, I just like it. So I thought we'd use it. And Zahum Bam Ho, I don't know exactly what they mean. But what you do is when you say, first you send the light rays out. And when you say Za, white Tara comes to the crown of your head, right? Then we say whom, the wisdom beings actually enter you. And then when you say Bam, they become inseparably oneness. And then when you say Ho, you meditate on the union of bliss and emptiness. So first, they come, they enter, they're stabilized. And then after they're stabilized, you have the Tara in you, so then you can just stop and be Tara. That's one explanation. And so you experience, you're happy and blissful and experiencing wisdom. So then we have another question. Which hand should we hold our mala for this practice? And I think you can hold it in the left, but you can change, And she asked, it's interesting about which finger should we drape the mala over? And that's kind of an interesting question, because we can change the finger, because this finger is for peace, increase, control, and wrath, right? So if you really wanted to work with, if you really wanted to do all that, I mean, I don't do that, but if you wanted to, so you do the white ones with this finger, right? And then the yellow ones, you change to the next finger. And the red ones, you change to the next finger. And the blue ones, you change to the next finger. And then, I don't know what to do for the last two. Probably just whatever finger you want, I guess, go back to the normal way. And the thing is, you can start with your left hand for the wisdom side. But if you want to, change, your hand gets tired, that's okay too. So that's that question. And then she's reading the book, How to Free Your Mind by Tupta Chodron. And Lamia she called Tara Mummy Tara, like Mother Tara, and it's connected with the wind element. And white Tara, well, actually, white is usually connected with water, and space yeah, and space is blue. But because we're dealing with all these elements, I would say that she's white in that she contains all the colors, like a white crystal has white, yellow, red, green, blue, because white Tara is all the colors. So I think that she is this is just what I think, but it just makes sense to me that since we're purifying all the elements and working with all the elements, that white Tara would be the balance of all the elements. And even in green Tara, when you get into the high Yoga Tantra green Tara, she's not just wind, she's all the elements. She has all the elements in her. So yeah, that's how I would answer that question. And I think that was all the questions. Yep. Okay. Does anybody else have a question? Comment? My glasses so I can see. No? Okay, then. Is that Jenny?
Yes.
Hi, Jenny.
Hello. There was something really interesting that you were saying about the throat chakra this morning. Can I just dash and get a book and read a very short couple of sentences?
Sure.
Oh, no, it's not that one.
What I was saying about the throat chakra is that when we are purifying the body, speech, and mind, well, in actual fact, what I was saying is that Tibetan Buddhism is a very holistic approach to healing, healing the mind. And it's not just a spiritual religion, I mean, I think that the West, we've kind of, and the Tibetans have done that, but in actual fact, it's more like an Ayurvedic Indian approach to healing. And so when we talk about healing the body, speech, and mind, it's the speech isn't just blah, blah, blah. The speech is the winds, and that is related to all our emotions. So what I was explaining is that if we use if we're healing the whole person, then we're working with the physical body, and we're working with all the emotions, and then we're working with the mind that registers in those thoughts and those opinions and those judgments about all those things that we want to purify. So what were you going to say, Jenny?
So this is from a book called The Heart of the World, and I literally read it 2 days ago. So it's amazing when you said what you said this morning. So it's about an outer and inner journey in a region of Tibet, looking for the secret lands. And this particular place where he's journeying represents the body of a particular deity. So he's talking about that in this particular journey, we were deep in the throat of the Dakini goddess Dorje Pagmo. In the tantric presentation of the body as a system of interrelated energy centers, the throat chakra, Vishuddhi in Sanskrit, means purgation and refers to the release of false concepts of reality so as to experience fully the transcendent, a world whose perfection lies in its ongoing process. And then pretty much as you said, anatomically, the throat serves as a link between the head and the heart.
Yeah.
But anyway, he goes on, but it's just,
Yeah.
It was just after what you said this morning, I just thought, wow, I've just been reading about that.
Yeah. Well, so if the people who are just joining us now, I'm not going to give that little talk again, but it'd be probably maybe helpful to go listen to it. I mean, I'll have to listen to it. It might not have made any sense at all. But I am going to put, after this afternoon, I'm going to sit down and type out something from Gabor Mate. I don't know if you've ever heard of Gabor Mate, but he's a famous, become famous now with a sort of holistic approach to healing, and done a lot of research showing how emotional states affect our physical health. And it's about emotional healing that he's written, and what constitutes kind of healthy emotional responses to the world. And so I'm going to share that with you, and you can listen to him on YouTube. I think he's really good. And also he's got a book called When the Body Says No, about healing and how the mind affects the body, and how that science has been talking about that now for 40 years, but it still hasn't, it's just on the fringes, you know, it hasn't really made it into mainstream medicine, unfortunately. So, yeah, so let's just do our practice today. And one of the things I said too is that the breath sort of brings it, is the connector between the body and the emotions and the mind. And that when we work with the breath, it heals all three. Calms the emotions, soothes the mind, and opens the body. And it's amazing that we have this healing tool with us all the time, but we don't know about it. I mean, once we study yoga, maybe we learn, but just extending our breaths and letting the exhale be longer than the inhale. I mean, you can do counting and pranayama, but it's not necessary. We won't do that. That just automatically calms the mind. We will take a few minutes and do that, just review that little meditation where we visualize the sphere in the navel area, breathing into the navel. I'm just assuming you going through your body and relaxing, lifting, breathing, spreading. of listening to the breath and experimenting with the hollow body meditations and finding what works for you. Allowing the breath to lift the rib cage and lift up the sternum and relax the shoulders so that we're not holding up our shoulders, that the breath is holding up the rib cage and then the shoulders just, they're loose, they're not connected at all. They just float on top. So breathing into it's like if we just have a full breath, and it's so much easier to sit up. It's like let the breath hold the body rather than the muscles. Loosening the head and the jaw. Feeling that space behind the back of the mouth. Connecting, imagining energy going down the arms and the legs, out the top of the head, out the ears and the eyes and the third eye. Feeling the toes. Letting the chin come slightly down. And now we can turn our minds back to the navel area. And breathing there, feeling it, the area within the bowl that's between your main hip bones and that whole pelvic floor, that it expands down. At the same time, the diaphragm's kind of pulling up, so it's like, you're breathing, it's like this thing going like this, expanding. It's like a ball, and a ball that's like one part of it's under the ribs with the diaphragm in, and that's kind of pulling up, and then another one's opening down. So you feel more space in all that area where our digestive organs are. So that when we're sitting, if we're sitting and we're just like lumped down like this, it's just, it's not good for mind, body, anything. So back to the sphere, and it's a few centimeters across. And when we breathe in, we imagine that it's energizing, and it's full of the 5 elements. It's white, like a prism. And when we exhale, each time we breathe in, it becomes stronger and fuller. When we exhale, we can imagine this kind of nectar rays, just like we do in the Tara practice, but it's inside our body. And then go up and massage our liver, big organ on the right side, liver on the left side. So that lets your upper body expand a little bit more. And feel that soothing healing. It's sort of like it's a boiling cauldron, and the steam goes up with the life force energy healing the liver. And the other side, going into the stomach and the spleen and the pancreas. So I'll turn off my phone. Into the kidneys, which are in the back side and the kind of lower rib area. Into the heart, and the lungs. And if that is more like kind of steam or fog coming, then we're going to imagine that, we all know we have a little central channel that goes up to the heart. Let's imagine another little sphere at the heart. Now that we've made our organs happy, and the mind's happier too. So now we're going to imagine as we exhale that there's a little line of, it's more dense than what was helping the livers and the spleens and everything. It's like a little more liquidy, almost like mercury. Liquid comes up with the exhale and energizes the heart chakra. Just a sphere at the heart area and in between the breasts. And that sort of kicks off the loving kindness feeling that's always in the heart when we allow our hearts to open. It's a warm feeling. If you need to think about people that you love to help that along, that's fine. And then from the navel, we'll go all the way up to the crown. Touching the very top of the spine, top of the skull. This little channel of mercury going up and exploding, allowing our inner experience to have more clarity to it. More precision, less drowsy. So it's almost like in the navel is the connection with Mother Earth, which is that grounded, stable feeling. And at the top of the crown is Father Sky, which is like the sky, very clear, open, spacious. And in the middle is the heart, where the love lies. And then paying more attention to the heart. We can imagine the 8-spoke wheel outside of the lotus and the moon and the tongue. And as that healing energy from the navel comes up, it spreads out through the 8 spokes into all the 72,000 channels and wakes up the whole body. And then we add Tara in the space above us, just a little bit in front, about 6 feet away, however, life size, small size, however she comes to you. And she's just radiating that, her own crystal light. And then just kind of relaxing all the little steps we took to the different orbs of energy, but just sort of, you don't have to think about them anymore, but just sort of keep them, that that helps to keep the, the mind and body present for the meditation. So we kind of set that first, and then we can sort of know it's there in a way, like if we're driving a car, you know, we're concentrating on the road and what we're doing, but we still know we're in a car. So it's sort of like we still know we're in this body that's being energized by this posture and breathing. And then we can turn our mind to the business at hand, which is to take refuge and generate bodhicitta. So we imagine our Father on our right and our Mother on our left and all the sentient beings around us. And as we're breathing in, we just allow the blessings of Tara to come in through the crown of our head and touch our heart, and go out throughout all our body and touch all sentient beings. Knowing that she is in the nature of indivisible great bliss and emptiness, which is our goal. It's a goal that we approach it in a very relaxed way. But relaxation doesn't mean we become dull. It just means we're not tight. So knowing that what the ultimate refuge is and what the even relative refuge is, we're taking refuge in all the stages of the path and how we use that, how we can study and incorporate that and change that into our everyday experience. So as we take refuge, we are asking, and kind of it's a way of affirming that we are on this path. And that we are committed to waking up, to being present, and to letting things be as they are before we react to them in old-fashioned ways, habitual ways. So that we have a chance to apply the Dharma to our everyday life. So we'll start at the very beginning. I and all living beings, as extensive of space from today on until the essence of enlightenment is achieved, take refuge in the glorious holy gurus, take refuge in the fully accomplished Buddhas, take refuge in the holy Dharma, take refuge in the Supreme Assembly. I take refuge in the Venerable Lady Waitara, the wish-fulfilling wheel, and the complete entourage of deities. That is, if you're visualizing an entourage of deities, not necessary. And then the thing is to just really, really want to realize emptiness and bodhicitta. You just have to just like when you're a little kid and you wanted a bicycle or something, just really gotta have this one, Or when you're a teenager, you just had to have that boyfriend or girlfriend, or you just have to get enlightened. So then we ask for the blessings on the mind stream, and you can make your own particular request, Namo Gurave, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Gurave, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Gurave, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. In order to attain the fully accomplished state of a Buddha for the sake of all living beings, I will enter into the sadhana of Waitara, wish-fulfilling wheel. And then again, doing those breathings. Breathing in indivisible great bliss and emptiness and sharing it with all sentient beings. Breathing in, feeling safe. Breathing in, feeling loved. And giving that to all sentient beings throughout all the pores of your body. Thinking I must attain the state of enlightenment. I can't stand it anymore. I have to turn away from samsara. Please, give me the power to turn away from these ridiculous habits that I do over and over and over again. Please help me to find that space of acceptance and love within myself. So I feel comfortable about change. Not be afraid of change. To not be so fixed at this sense of self and what I've developed to be my personality. It can't be changed. The habits that make me sick. Bless me to find enough courage and love for myself and others to begin to investigate what these things might be and how I might overcome them. Because I'm doing this for myself and for all beings. Because once I make that step, it helps everyone make that step. And especially, can we laugh at ourselves? How silly we are, without it making us feel bad about ourselves. We must attain enlightenment for all sentient beings. May all living beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all living beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all living beings be endowed with the happiness that is free from suffering. And may all living beings remain in a state of equanimity, free of the mind that attaches to the appearance of inherent existence and the object that it grasps. Gods and asuras with their crowns bow down to your lotus feet. I prostrate to Mother Tara, the liberator of all needs, of all, I guess all needs. I'm offering the mandala. Oh, the ground is blessed with scent and with flowers strewn, adorned with Mount Meru, the four lands, sun and moon, transformed as a pure land, and offered. May all wandering beings enjoy this Buddha land. All those objects of my mind's three poisons, coveted, friend, foe, and stranger, body, wealth, worldly pleasure, without a feeling of loss, I surrender. Receive them, please, and free all beings from their bondage. Please, precious Tara, please bless my mind and the mind of all sentient beings to be free from all the wrong views, to gain all the realizations, from pure devotion up to the unified state of Vajradharhood, and to be free from all the outer, inner, secret obstacles. Idam Guru Radha Mandalakam Niryatayami. I take refuge in the three jewels. I regret all my unwholesome deeds. I rejoice in the merit of all living beings. I will hold bodhicitta until enlightenment. I take refuge until enlightenment in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. In order to fulfill the purpose of myself and others, I generate the mind of enlightenment. Having generated the mind of enlightenment, I invite all living beings as my guests. I will remain in this excellent conduct of the bodhisattvas. Thereby may I achieve the state of a Buddha in order to benefit all living beings. So then we can imagine from the crown of the brow of Tara's brow, white light rays and nectars going to our brow and filling our bodies with white light, purifying all of our illnesses and karmic imprints to be ill and unsettled in the body. And then the red nectars and rays from her throat chakra into our throat chakra, purifying all the emotional afflictions and the speech that comes from that. The wind energy in the body. And the blue nectars and rays come into the heart, from her heart. And all of our cognitive awarenesses are purified into perceiving emptiness only. So perceiving the objects still appear, but we no longer grasp onto them as being truly existent. And all the wisdom that comes from that. And then all the entourage dissolves into Tara, and Tara dissolves into the Tam. The Tam becomes very small and dissolves into the crown of our heads, bringing with it the explosion of indivisible great bliss and emptiness that goes through our nervous system when she comes and abides in the Tam at our heart. And we think that my mind is inseparable with the Guru's holy mind. And that invisible great bliss and emptiness goes out and touches all of the beings and all of the container in the contained, so the world, all the physical aspects, and everything dissolves in emptiness all around us. And then these light rays come back, kind of like a vacuum cleaner sucking everything in our bodies, into our hearts, into the Tam. And the Tam dissolves through the 5 elements, through the white, the red, the black, and irritatement, into the clear light. Onsa Bhawa Shuddha Sawa Tamasa Bhawa Shuddha Ham. Nature of mind, experiencing bliss and cognizing its emptiness. This is Dhammakaya Chara. And then moved by the bodhicitta, out of emptiness from the syllable palm comes a white lotus. And from awe is a moon disk. On top of that appears the syllable tum, which is my own consciousness appearing as the syllable tum. Emanating rays of light, all multicolored rays of light going out and enlightening all sentient beings and then making offerings to all the taras. This allows us to become more spacious, feeling ourself going out in all directions. And imagining all these taras and coming back and falling into my body like snowflakes on a lake, dissolve into me, and I arise as Tara. So just take a moment to go through your visualization of Tara. Feeling that this beautiful goddess is me, and then recognizing that that sense of I, that's me, that's Tara, is completely empty. It's just like a mirage, like a dream, reflection in the mirror. There's consciousness, there's awareness, but it's not coming from a solid projector. It's just light, it's just awareness. Dispensing with so much adherence to subject and object, just letting it be. Just being Tara. Glorious, beautiful, radiant, crystal body of light. Like I said yesterday, rather than being the projector shining on a screen, just be the light. Letting go of the screen and the projector. Another analogy is a flashlight. Usually when we perceive, we are the flashlight looking at the light, the object that's being illuminated. Just be the light that's shining. With not coming, not being from a concrete thing that's making it happen. Here's the appearance of the deity. The I that is the deity is not this concretely existing I. It's just a sense that appears because because there's moment-to-moment awareness. So if we can, we just focus on that awareness quality of mind, not what it's aware of, just awareness itself. And that's empty. And that's Tara's holy mind. My crown is a wide Om, at my throat a red Ah, at my heart a blue Hum. At my heart and moon disk is a white syllable Tam, which emanates rays of light, inviting from Patala Buddha field in the south, the venerable wish-fulfilling Arya Tara, surrounded by an assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So we invite the wisdom beings. And when we say Ja, they come and close to us. Hum, they enter. Bam, they're stabilized. And Ho, we experience the blessing of inseparability, of bliss and emptiness. It's the wisdom of the wisdom beings. Za, Hum, Bam, Ho. And then again, we go back. Even more powerful is the divine pride and clear appearance. Simple awareness, clarity. Rainbow light, Tara. When you feel the sense of I am Tara. Mom used to say, just penetrate it with the awareness and watch it dissolve like a cloud in the sky. Just feel spacious, beauty, love, care, power, wisdom. And then prostrating to that pristine awareness. Yeshe. I prostrate to Mother Tara, the liberator of beings from existence, the one who liberates from the 8 worldly fears with Tutare, the one who frees from illness with Ture. All the wisdom, compassion, and activities of the Buddhas appears in the form of an extremely beautiful goddess, to the one who is brilliantly white, who holds in a power flower in her hand, and who bestows longevity and supreme attainments to sentient beings, I bow. At the heart chakra of Tara is an 8-spoked wheel with a hub and 3 rims. At the center on a moon disk is my own mind, is a white tom encircled by the mantra for increase. Om Tari 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 Mama Ari Punidana Pushtan Kuriya Soha. On the 8 spokes are the 8 syllables, Tari 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 Soha. On the inner rims are the vowels counterclockwise. Om A E U U Ri Ri Li Li E A O Am A Soha. In the middle rim are the consonants arranged clockwise. Om Kakakagana Chichana 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 Papa Babama Yawalawa Shasha Sahasha Soha. And at the outer rim is the mantra of dependent arising. Om Yadharma Hetu Bhavava Hetu Teshin Tatakata Hi Avatateshin Chayo Naruda Evam Badi Mahashramani. Soha. They're all in the nature of light, and dewdrops of nectar stream forth from the letters. Then we visualize Amitabha in our crown. The vase that is in his lap, he's holding this golden vase where the lights go out and hook back our life force energy. The 5 elements with the capacity to balance our physical bodies and minds. The life energies and merits of all living beings, the brilliance and dignity of the 3 worlds, all the wealth and goodness of existence, and the blessings of the body, speech, and mind of the Guru, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, all collect back in the form of the nectar. And these rays of lights of different color absorb into the vase in Amitabha's lap. And by this absorption, the white nectar overflows and enters my crown, absorbing into the wheel, the mantra, and the seed syllable of my heart. The rays of nectar flow down throughout the wheel, filling my entire body. My outer body is washed, the accumulation of unwholesome imprints, obscurations, illnesses, disturbances, and obstacles of life are cleansed and purified, restoring my life energy, giving me long life, giving me more merit, restoring the broken vows and commitments, and completely regenerating my nervous system. And I attain the city of morality and Buddhahood. And I recite the mantra. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayur Punijana Pushtim Kuruye Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayur Punijana Pushtim Kuruye Soha. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayu Punijana Pushtim Kuriye So. Om Tare Tu Re Mama Ayu Punijana Pushtim Kuriye So. Om Tare Tu. Then we can imagine the protection wheel outside of ourselves, clearing away any other obstacles that might be left. Blazing fire. And then we begin the activities. So starting with the white light, pacifying illness, disturbance, obscurations, unwholesome imprints, and all my obstacles. Pacifying this group karma to have this virus. To not be able to solve global warming or the political strife. Pacifying all of that as well. And it goes out to the outer rim. One's ready to judge. Then the white rays turn to the yellow rays with increasing our life, breathing, merits, wealth, virtues, health, wealth, wisdom, compassion, forgiveness, love, acceptance. And the yellow rays transform into red, controlling, magnifying, increasing our capacities. Strong boundaries. emotional clarity. And the red changes to blue, ultimate destruction of all obstacles, increasing our power and energy even more, destroying our self-grasping, our self-cherishing, all our confusion. The confusion that comes from unhealthy boundaries and emotional shutdownness. Ignorance. Habits. All the habits of samsara may be completely destroyed. Particularly that thinking that appearances exist from their own side. Not understanding dependent arising. Destroying all the tendencies to not be present. Distracted, destroying distraction. Destroying all the confusion in the world. Political confusion. And the dark blue changes to green. And through the powers of peace, increase, control, and wrath, we're able to accomplish all the activities to bring harmony in our own lives and harmony in the world. All the projects being taken care of, especially the big project, global warming, climate change, pandemic, wars, personal lives, particularly the activity of waking up, knowing how to really take care of ourselves so we can be of benefit to others, no longer harming ourselves with erroneous ideas and habits. Allowing creativity to flow freely. And finally, the purple or brown ones, lights going out, bringing stability to all these activities and attainments. Om Dare Jujare Jure Soha. 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 Just flashing and stabilizing that whole visualization. You don't have to effortlessly do it, just know it's there. Just like you know you're sitting in the room. You just know that I am Tara, surrounded by these 6 wheels of power. Om Dhammazavazamaya Manupalaya Vamasapadina Vatita Didome Bhawa Sutukaya Me Bhawa Supokaya Me Bhawa Anurata Me Bhawa Sarva Siddhi Me Payasa Sarva Kama Suchame Sitam Shiram Kirum Aho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Padma Mami Mutsa Padma Bhava Maha Samaya Safa Ahon Hey. Whatever mistakes I have made because of not knowing or lacking ability or not finding the proper materials, please be patient with these. We make the offerings. To the supremely noble goddess, I offer actual and imaginary substances, water for drinking and bathing, flowers, incense, lights, perfume, food, and music, the outer, inner, secret, and suchness offerings, the pleasures of the 5 senses, auspicious symbols, all the prosperity and magnificence of gods and humans, Samantabhadra's oceans of offering clouds. All the wisdom, compassion, and activities of the Buddhas appears in the form of the extremely beautiful goddess, to the one who is brilliantly white, who holds a flower in her hand, and who bestows longevity and supreme attainments to sentient beings, I bow. Since mother sentient beings are unaware that they themselves are the Dharmakaya, their minds are navigated by afflictive emotions as they wander adrift in cyclic existence. Mother Goddess, please protect them. Dharma has not yet arisen from the depths of some beings' hearts. By adhering to mundane words, they're deceived by erroneous philosophies. Authentic Mother Goddess, please protect them. Having seen the nature of mind itself, so difficult to recognize, some still do not habituate it, but remain distracted by negative activities. Mindful Mother Goddess, please protect them. Regardless of what they do, some remain shackled by their habitual pattern of dualistic grasping at the self-arising mind of non-dual wisdom. Goddess of the mind of non-duality, please protect them. Although they dwell in the absolute truth, some are ignorant of the interdependence of cause and effect and confused by the meaning of that which should be understood. Omniscient Mother Goddess, please protect them. Certain individuals do not comprehend that by possessing an innate space-like nature, free of mental concepts, all phenomena are inseparable from space. Perfectly enlightened Mother, please protect them. And then we do the dissolution. The light rays from my heart emanate out and touch all the world's environments and the beings therein. Everyone again becomes stars, all the sentient beings. And then this all dissolves back into myself, Tara, in these protection wheels, action wheels, into the purple or brown, which dissolves into the green, into the blue, to the red, yellow, white, into the protection wheel, into myself and the lotus and the moon dissolve into the wheel at the heart, which dissolves into the lotus, the moon, and the tongue. And the lotus dissolves into the moon, which dissolves into the tongue, which gradually dissolves into the clear light. The fundamental innate mind of clear light. Moved by bodhicitta out of emptiness, I arise as the Lady Tara, then awe at my crown, awe at my throat, the home of my heart. And then asking the wisdom beings to depart, If we have images, then we ask them to go into our images. Otherwise, they return to their own abode. Om Supratishta Vajre Soha. Om Vajramu. Wisdom beings depart, and the commitment beings absorb into me. Through the merit collected by this practice, may I quickly attain the state of the wish-fulfilling Aryatara. May all living beings without exception, may I lead all living beings without exception to our state of enlightenment. When the signs of untimely death appear, by instantly seeing the form of the wish-fulfilling wheel, the power of the Lord of Death is eliminated. May I swiftly attain the state of a knowledge holder of immortality. With the roots of merit accumulated by this meditation, recitation, praises, and offerings to the Venerable Tara, may all obstacles, interferences, evils, and disturbances be pacified. May I enjoy the glory of immortality. By merely seeing your body, hearing your speech, and remembering you, all signs of untimely death are destroyed. In all my lifetimes, may I be guided by the Venerable Tara. May I be able to enjoy the holy Dharma. May I swiftly attain the activities of pacification, increased power, and destruction, the 8 cities, and so forth. May I quickly attain all the common and supreme attainments. May all my hope and wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Whoever holds this sweet dew of the nectar of immortality, the sadhana of the white upala flower in the palms of their hands, respectfully, Aryatara will rejoice in that fortunate being. I just haven't taken the time to do Torma offerings, so I feel like it's not like we're in a place to retreat together, but of course you're welcome to do Torma offerings if you want at night. Okay, now I haven't got the right prayer for His Holiness. I forgot, so we'll just do the old one, and then maybe by tomorrow I'll have it the last day.
You are.
Paula, do you want me to share it on the screen?
Yeah. Is that Wendy? Are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you left.
I'm multitasking.
Oh my goodness.
There we
Okay,
go.
that's great. Nice photo, Wendy.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Let's do Gewadi then. Oh, it's kind of late. That's all right. Gewadi nyoduda lama sange drukyurne drowa chikyang malupa Dei sala ko parsho Changchu samcho grampo che ma ke panam ke kyur ke payam pame gone gondu belva sho. That's the old one. That's all right. Let's just go back and do that one because there's a different one. We're missing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Gangri wawe
kowe shinkan
pandan de wa malu jungwe ne chenre zigwon tenzin gatso yi shape si te bardu tengyurchi. The wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world. To the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Then we have Lama Zopa Rinpoche. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplished magnificent prayers honoring the 3 sublime ones, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. And remembering all of our gurus. Also, special prayers for Jaggi Rinpoche. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. And I have the dedication list here. Maybe you all have it. Gabrielle and family, Alaro, Jacqueline White, Chucklin Rinpoche, Mika Clausens, and Deborah, Shelley Orlando and family, Eileen Price, Sonia Hussein, who died recently, may she have a perfect human rebirth. Helen Jeffries, Deki Lee, Pit Yuanyam, Catherine Flatt, Anne Lynch, who died, and her daughter Tricia Donahue, Basil Monchen, Tenzin and Dolma Kunsang, Jeff Jukes, Ishi Palmo, Kathy Rodham, Jody Galt, Roz, Tim, and Alice, all afflicted with COVID-19 and the consequences of that. Kathy and Peter Ambrose and their children, Ashton, Chelsea, and Devon. Danny Vogely, Sidhu, her son Zach Sidhu, and mother Jerry, Ginny Higgins, Rosalind Cicerone Hills and her husband Mike, who just passed away, Boris Vayner, Michelle Keitner, Jack Hopkins, who died, and his wife Kay Hopkins, Helen Kopecki, who is having a leg amputated, Dave Taylor, who's got cancer, Irene Marcuse, who has cancer, Elizabeth for her long life and well-being, for Julie Kay, her children, husband, family members, and dogs, and for all of us here and for all sentient beings everywhere, sealing with emptiness and rejoicing. How wonderful it is, how wonderful it is.